This season a year ago, this time last season, this was a different football team. And the issue that they had in the passing game was more of their design and their implementation in a game. Like, they weren't executing a game plan. It seemed random in the plays calls they were having. So it was a lot easier to force the ball into one target. But even still, coming into this year, with the team and the offense playing the way that they've played over the last month or two, to have this conversation in a public format, that's concerning as a team. That is concerning as a locker room. That is concerning about the prospects going forward. And if Sirianni doesn't manage it, it could rear its head and be the cause of them not actually making a Super Bowl run.
Yeah, there's no doubt about it. I mean, this is a team where everybody's been watching all year. They started out hot last year and then fell completely apart. No, you're shaking
And
your
that
head.
is my problem with the Eagles. For as talented as they are, it's almost like they invite all of this conversation on themselves, because last year it was the collapse, and then how they lost in the playoffs, and then waiting so long to even trot Nick Sirianni back in front of the media to say, yes, I will be the coach in 2024. All of these things, we should not be looking at this. We should be happy that we should be talking about why this team, despite them not being as balanced, why they're winning 9 games in a row, why this Eagles team, as talented as it is, why they can stack up against the Lions, why they arguably could be the best team in the NFC. And instead, we're like, now what the heck is going on with the quarterback and the wide receiver, when there was also an article about the quarterback and the head coach? They are too talented for us to be talking about this. And if this season goes awry, I don't think it will, but if it does, then again, we'll be looking at Nick Sirianni like, how is this with all this talent?
They're better this year, though.
Of
I think
course,
what it comes down to is, like, I think a lot of, we look for reasons to explain the collapse outside of the fact that they weren't playing good football. We wanted to be about relationships. We wanted to be about beef. They had a lot of young players last year that didn't quite step up, and they've added some more young players, and that's why they had a rough start to the beginning of this season, or an uneven start to the beginning of the season. All their players are playing really well right now, and that's why they're really good, and that's why the interpersonal stuff doesn't matter nearly as much to me. But to be fair, last week they came a drop pass away from losing to the Panthers, which is a concerning thing for this team. Like, they should not be in dogfights with the Panthers.
But how can you say the interpersonal? How can you say the interpersonal stuff isn't as important when you literally have Brandon Graham? Love Brandon Graham, but he just shouldn't have said anything. You have him pouring gasoline on this situation, and
what I would say
when I look at players, after a win, usually players, even when they don't get targeted, they don't bring up the fact that they didn't get the ball after a win. For AJ Brown to have those post-game comments, it seems like this has been percolating for a while, which means the interpersonal stuff, him not getting the ball.
So the difference between the Eagles and a lot of other teams is Brandon Graham told us about the interpersonal stuff.
Exactly.
Every other team got beef.
Absolutely.
And it's not going to get in the way of any of their goals as long as they continue to play well. Maybe when things go poorly, it makes you less likely to support a guy or something. But the fact of the matter is they are playing well. I think that's what it boils down to. And there's no team where everybody gets along.
Thank you. And it's not kindergarten. We don't have to get along. No one cares, right? Like, go do your job.
I know.
You know what I mean?
I got beef today.
And let me say what this part is about, why they're not doing what. Could they be more balanced? There's no reason to be more balanced. This is the part that bothers me. So let me say it this way.
We disagree.
Here's the issue. For the last 3 weeks-ish, they have not been good passing the football. But their run game, it is a less risk, higher reward offense they have been running since the bye week. And they are getting wins and finding ways to win. Their defense is significantly better. And honestly, they will lean on their defense come playoff time to win games. So if you can control it with Saquon Barkley and you don't take negative plays, because here's the problem with Jalen Hurts. He doesn't play fast. So if you're going to take sacks and potentially have more turnovers, why would you try to force the issue? If you are Kellen Moore or Nick Sirianni, you look at AJ Brown and say, when we get opportunities, we are going to try to get you the ball. But at the end of the day, the only opportunity we have to win the Super Bowl, we're showing you the blueprint. You won 9 games in a row,
quick
bro.
Question, Jeff.
Yes.
If Xavier Legette catches that pass, would you be saying the same thing?
Yeah.
So
So are you going to say that I think we should go throw it 50 times with Jalen Hurts? Absolutely not.
I'm saying that their offensive ceiling is much higher than they're demonstrating. They should not be down to a hope Leggett drops a pass in the red zone at the end of the game. Like, that's what I'm saying.
No, my concern would be if you invite more negative plays, more turnovers, and more sacks.
You don't want to raise the risk profile.
Exactly, because if you're talking about Jalen Hurts, he has the third best offensive line efficiency, and you still take more sacks. You have a 3-second hold, and you take sacks, bro. You don't win taking sacks or turning the ball over.
But this is extreme. They've attempted the fewest pass attempts per game in the entire league this season.
Right.
Is there? I recognize
Right.
that you believe there is no problem on earth that cannot be solved by running the ball more. I get that. But is there not going to come a time when you have to
and it might be this week where you get man coverage on A.J. Brown and you feed him. Yeah. But what I'm saying is you don't force it. The problem with this, I don't care about balance. I care about winning. And if you win the way you're winning with less risk, it is smarter. And then as you need it, be higher risk. I'm okay. It's no different than I say with Russell Wilson. I'm not scared of you pushing the ball down the field. Just don't turn it over.
The point. They needed it last week. And they didn't do it. The fact that they won was because Xavier Leggett dropped
that pass.
They needed to go higher risk last week. That's the point. And that's why A.J. Brown is justified.
So they
should have said it on the media.
Can we say this, too, about the Panthers? They almost beat the Chiefs, too.
Okay,
they almost beat the Chiefs, so let's not act like.
Tried for the almost bowl.
Coach.
Yeah.
Yeah, you. Here's my own thing. I agree with you. They have the blueprint for winning.
Yeah.
But their star wide receiver is saying something publicly. That's why I'm saying, like,
I agree with that.
Gotta change because he's not happy. And now we're looking at
Are you serious?
No. But here.
I had players who did not enjoy each other at all, did not talk to each other at all in the huddle. I don't care if you're not happy. And you get fired. So make sure that we keep the real thing and the main thing the main thing. I don't care about feelings as much as I care about wins.
That's a speech that you give the Philadelphia Eagles. That's exactly.
Agreed.
Bottle that up, Sirianni. Pull A.J. Brown and Jalen Hurts into the room. Bring Brandon Graham in there as well to witness, so he can, when he goes on the podcast, he can show this part of it.
Right.
And you tell them that.
Agreed.
Because I completely agree. You don't need to be friends to work well together.
Yeah.
But the reality is, if you start leaking this stuff outside the locker room, you start telling the wrong people who can't affect what's actually going on the field, it can cause an issue on the field and how you play.
It can if you're not a good team.
Exactly. I think that is the point.
Affect.
All right.
I mean, the problem that I have is if we're honest, in every locker room you lived in, people did not get along.
Absolutely.
Positionally, we didn't get along. It's okay, but you still, if you're good, you win games because you have professional courtesy.
Exactly.
A.J. Brown, to this point this season, I'm not talking about last season, I'm talking about this season, has played with that professionalism. The dude gets after it. When he gets opportunities, he makes the catch. When he's called to block, he blocks. He's opening up.
He has a standard. I completely agree with that.
So if his feelings are hurt, he's still playing to the standard that helps them win.
I completely agree with all of that. And they are an incredibly talented football team. But to be
well coached.
And they're a good team and they're well coached. But this is a symptom of things that teams that because they're talented doesn't mean that they're good.
Let me ask you this. Let me ask you this.
This is an unnecessary distraction.
I agree with that.
And that's
100% I agree with it. But would you rather have their problems or would you rather be where the Bills are today? If you're standing with the Eagles and the Bills, would you rather have the Bills' problems of third downs and run and stopping the run, or would you rather have the Eagles' problems?
Where Josh Allen gonna be? I'm going where Superman is.
Welcome to John Crowder's show. Thanks for tuning in. I'm back again with another sports show, joining you live from a spot here in the Battery, Atlanta, Georgia. If you ever get time, come check us out. Want to make sure you understand that if you want to see some of the most up-to-date clips, shows, Stephen A. Smith, First Take, Pat McAfee, go ahead and tune in. Every day we're dropping clips and even live shows. So take the time to go ahead, like, subscribe, and even share this content. We're going to be pushing out a lot of content to you free. And also we're going to be giving away live tickets to sporting events. And we'll be live on set at the NCAA Championship, the Final Four. And also we'll be live at the Super Bowl this year. So if you want to win free tickets, make sure you like and subscribe and stay tuned. Put the alert bell on. We're going to keep you up to date with NFL, MLB, soccer, baseball, hockey, all sports, and even giving you free picks on parlays that we hit very often. So go ahead and stay locked in, because if you blink, you'll miss it. Again, I'm John Crowder, and thanks for tuning in. What are some of the most iconic sports for you as far as moments? One of the most iconic sports moments for me was definitely when the Falcons lost the Super Bowl. Even though I'm a Falcons fan, it was heartbreaking, but it was definitely memorable. So that was one of the most memorable, ugliest moments for me as a sports fan. Go ahead and drop in the chat what your most memorable moment in sports was, and we'll be sure to comment and respond to that. One other thing, we definitely want to let you know that we do have sports picks, and we will be putting them in the chat. Our sports picks come with a lot of knowledge, a lot of historical data, and just a lot of professionalism. So if you want to start hitting some of those bets, make sure you follow our picks, and we'd definitely like to help you out on that. All right, this channel is completely free. We don't have any sponsors, so make sure you like, subscribe, and share this to get more content like this and to help us put out more content. Again, I'm John Crowder, and I'm joining you live from the Battery in Atlanta. Stay tuned for more episodes, more shows, and more content.